first topic is Parliament. Parliament is the head of Malaysia legislative system. It's made up of two houses, which is the Dewan Negara or Senate and the Dewan Rakyat or House of Representative. This is where law are crafted, budget and approved, and the government is held accountable. During parliamentary session, elected members debate bills and voice the concern of the people. It's a cornerstone of the democracy, ensuring people's needs are represented.
Building on that foundation, we have Parliament, which is the legislative body responsible for making laws. Malaysia Parliament has two houses. The Dewan Rakyat or House of Representatives with 222 elected members who represent constituencies across the country, and the Dewan Negara or Senate with 70 members, mostly appointed by the state or the federal government. Sessions are held in Kuala Lumpur, where bills are debated, passed and sent to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong for rakyat assent. Parliament plays a crucial role in holding the government accountable through question times, committees and vote of no-confidence. It's why the voice of the people through their elected representatives shape national policies on everything that educating to the economy.
Good morning, my name is Norman Hakim. Today I will share a short overview of the topic Malaysia. The first, Parliament, election, constitutional theory and the power of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the conflict of ruler. The first, Parliament. Malaysia has a bicameral parliament, which means two houses. The first, Dewan Rakyat, members are elected by the people every 5 years. Second is Dewan Rakyat, senator are appointed by Yang di-Pertuan Agong or state government. Main role of Parliament, make and pass law, approve the national budget, question and check the government action. Example, if a new law about road safety is needed, it must go through about house before become the official.
A parliament is a group of people usually elected by the public who make, review and change law for a country. It also represents the people, giving them a voice through that member, and keeps an eye on the government by asking questions and discussing important issues in the public. In many cases, a parliament is structured with two parts. First, a bicameral system, such as a lower house and upper house, so that law gets examined twice before becoming officially. In other places, it's also only one part, a unicameral system, which is making lawmaking quicker but without that extra layer of review.
So second topic is elections. Elections, how we as a Malaysians choose our leaders. So every 5 years we hear that process to vote for our representative in parliament and state assemblies. And the election commission overseeing the process to ensure it's fair or not and transparent. Voting is our chance to shape the future of our country. So getting up there and casting your vote is very important.
So slide 2 about election are how we choose our government leaders. So, however, the process starts with candidates being nominated, followed by a campaign period. Citizens aged 18 and above can vote. Can voting. So, the votes are counted and winners we will announce. For that, election can be general or by election. This system ensures fairness and lets the public participate in choosing leaders. Next.
Now, how do we got those representatives? That's where election comes in. In Malaysia, general election must be held at least every 5 years, managed by the Election Commission to ensure fairness. We use the first past the post system, where voters in each constituency choose one candidate, and the one with the most voted wins the seat. Citizens aged 21 and above can vote, and recently automatic voter registration and lowering the voting age to 18 have expanded participation. Elections are high-stake event. Think of the historic 2018 polls that lead to the first change in government since independence. They empower the rakyat to decide who leads, but challenge like gerrymandering and campaign financing remind us of the need for ongoing follow-ups.
Okay, so for election are the fundamental part of democracy. They are the process through which citizens choose their representatives at both the federal and state level. In Malaysia, general elections are usually held every 5 years, but they can be called every if parliament dissolved. The election commission is responsible for managing the entire process from voter registration to counting the vote, and campaigns allow candidates and political parties to present their manifestos, explain their policy, and convince the public why there should be choices. Elections are more than just a day of voting. They are the people's opportunity to influence the direction of the country. By participating in elections, citizens help shape national policy, decide of leadership, and hold leaders accountable for their actions. Not voting means leaving the decision entirely in the hands of others, which can be have a latest impact of the future of the nations.
For understanding Malaysian election process is Malaysian operation has a parliamentary democracy with a constitution monarchy. The parliament is the supreme legislative body consisting of the two houses. First is the Dewan Rakyat, second is the Dewan Negara. Elections are held every 5 years or sooner in parliament is dissolved early. The Yang di-Pertua Agong must approve the dissolution on the Prime Minister advice. Citizens at 19 and above can to vote, with voter registration being automatic, and the voting system is first past the post, where the candidate with the most vote win the seat. To form a government, a party or coalition needs to secure at least 112 seats in the Dewan Rakyat.
What is election? Election basically means a democratic process where citizens vote to elect representative under election commission supervision governed by federal constitution and election offences. So what is the function of election? The function of election is that representation elects MPs, Dewan Rakyat and State Assemblies members. Government formation determines the ruling party. PM is majority leader. Accountability allows voters to remove underperforming leaders. And the last one is constitutional safeguard ensures power transitions are peaceful and lawful.
Next, slide 3. The Federal Constitution is Malaysia's highest law. It divides power into 3 branches, which is a legislative, executive, and judiciary. Besides that, it protects important rights like freedom and equality. The Constitution keeps the government fair and prevent abuse of power. Next.
Constitutional theory. What is constitutional theory? Constitutional theory is the study of principle governing Malaysia Federal Constitution, including separation of power, rule of law, federalism. What is the function of constitutional theory? First is a framework for governance. It defines how laws are made and enforced. Second one is protect rights. Safeguard fundamental liberties, for example, freedom of speech, religion, and more. The third one is limit power, prevent abuse by any branch of government.
And last one is guide amendments, set rules for changing constitution.
The third, constitutional theory. The federal constitution is a Malaysia supreme law. No law can go against it. Three principle key. Separation of power between the legislative, make law, executive, enforce law, and judiciary, interpret law. Rule of law. Everyone, include leader, must follow the law. Constitutional monarchy. The king power are defined and limited by the constitution. Example, even parliament cannot pass a law that violate constitutional right like freedom of speech.
Okay, so for constitutional theory refer to the underlying principle and idea that shape our federal constitutions, which is the supreme law of the land. This document outlines how the government operates, the limit of its power, and the right of the people. One of its key concepts is the separation of power. The legislative make law, the executive implement them, and the judiciary interpret them. This separation ensures that not single branch has unchecked authority, reducing the risk of abuse of power. The Constitution also enshrines fundamental liberties, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and inquiry protection under the law. Their rights are not absolute. They come with responsibility and reasonable restriction of protect public order, morality, and national security. In instance, constitutional theory provide the framework for balancing automatic and liberty, and ensure that Malaysia function not just as a policy system, but as a nation that respect justice, fairness, and the rule of law.
So the last topic is power of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the conference rules. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong is Malaysian ceremonial head of state, elected every 5 years by the Conference of Rules, which consists of the 9 Malay rulers. The conference plays a key role in advancing on national policies, appointing high-ranking officials, and preserves Malay custom and the Islamic faith. Together, they hold a symbolic yet essential place in our constitutional framework.
Okay, so slide 4. Yang di-Pertuan Agong is a Malaysia king and head of state. His power include appointing the Prime Minister. Besides that, they're approving laws passed by Parliament, serving as a Commander-in-Chief of Armed Force, and being the guardian of Islam in Malaysia.
And the last one is power of Yang di-Pertuan Agong, YDPA, and Conference of Rulers. So what YDPA and or what Yang di-Pertuan Agong function is, Yang di-Pertuan Agong elected constitutional monarch and head of state chosen by the Conference of Rules every 5 years. So what is Yang di-Pertuan Agong function? It appoints the Prime Minister, the royal assents to law, head of Islam, pardons and communications, declare emergencies. And then for Conference of Rulers, what is Conference of Rulers? Conference of Rulers basically means a council of 9 Malay rulers plus 4 governors advising on key national issues. The function of Conference of Rulers is elect and remove the YDPA, approve constitutional charges, consent to Islamic law, and advise on key appointments. Okay, that's it for me.
The last one, power of Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Conference of Rulers. Yang di-Pertuan Agong, first, head of the state and symbol of unanimity. Appoint the Prime Minister, usually the leader with the majority in Parliament, can dissolve parliament for general election as a guide of Islam in Malaysia. Conference of Law made up the 9 Malay rule and 4 state governor elect Yang di-Pertuan Agong every 5 years. Approve certain constitution amendments, especially those effective the monarchy and Islam. The example, during political immunity in 2020, the Agong played a key in role appointing a new prime minister without an election.
Okay, let's go power of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the Conference of Rulers. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong is Malaysia constitutional monarch and the symbol of national unity. While his powers are legally ceremonial, the whole important constitutional responsibility that include appointing the prime minister. Usually the leader who command the majority in parliament, the dissolving parliament when necessary, and declaration a state of emergency during time of crisis. Importantly, the Agong act of the advice of the Prime Minister and Cabinet in most matter, but their centers discretionary power he can exercise on his own judgments, such as in the appointment of the Prime Minister when there is not clear majority. The Conference of Rulers is an unquiet institution made up of the 9 hereditary Malay rulers and the government of the other 4 states. This body has a special function, including electing the Yang di-Pertuan Agong every 5 years, approving change of the constitution that affect the privilege of the Malay rulers. The special position of the Malay and Pamiputera and the state of the Malay language and Islam as the religion of the federations. Together, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the Conference of Rulers represent Malaysia constitutional monarchy, breeding tradition with the democratic framework set up in the constitution.
Powers of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, which is the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is Malaysian constitutional monarch mostly acting on the advice of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. However, he holds several crucial powers including appointing the Prime Minister, especially in hung parliaments where no party has a clear majority, dissolving or withholding consent to dissolve parliament, which is triggered general election, and giving royal assent to bills. If he delays or rejects one, it automatically becomes law after 13 days.
Finally, let's talk about the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the Conference of Rulers, who add a unique layer to our constitutional monarchy. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong or King is elected every 5 years by the Conference of Rulers, which consists of the 9 hereditary Malay rulers from states like Johor, Selangor and Perak, plus appointed governors from the other state. The Agong power are mostly ceremonial. He acts on the advice of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, but he holds important discretionary roles such as appointing the Prime Minister after election, dissolving parliament for snap polls, and granting pardons. During crisis, like the COVID-19 emergency declaration, the Agong consent is vital. The Conference of Rulers, meanwhile, safeguard Malay custom, Islam as the official religion, and approve key appointment or law affecting state matters. Together, they symbolize unity and provide a check against potential abuse of power, blending tradition with modern governance. In conclusion, Malaysia Constitution, Parliament, election, and the monarchy work in harmony to create a system that resilient and representative, while not perfect. It's a testament to our commitment to democracy in a diverse nation. That's all for me. Thank you.